Hi students, this is Mr. Simons. Hey, we're going to get into GDevelop for the first time. I'm going to move pretty quickly here, but the slides have all the details that you need. So you got to use the slideshow with the video here in order to make sure you get all of the details you need to open and make your first project in GDevelop. So let's open up the slides here. All right, Unit 1 exercises. Here, and we can learn a little bit about GDevelop here. You can actually download it for any Windows, Mac, or Linux computer. It will not work in the desktop version on a Chromebook, but there is an online version. It is limited. You can't do the whole class from a Chromebook, but you can do quite a bit if you need to. All right, so there's where to find it. Here's where there's lots and lots of tutorials, documentation, questions you have, things like that. There's the wiki for it here. I suggest that everyone watch these beginner tutorials, okay? I think it'll be really helpful to learn variables and objects and some of the programming that we're going to be doing in events and things like that. This would be really, really good background for you to watch through the beginner tutorials. Now we will definitely do the beginner list before the second game. Intermediate tutorials, in-depth and advanced tutorials. Art by Kenny. Kenny has all the artwork that you'll need to make different games, and lots of the games we see will come from this. All right, so we're going to need to find GDevelop. Now, you see I've got it on my dock, but we're going to go to the Finder so you know where to find it in the Finder if it doesn't happen to be on your dock. And here's GDevelop 5. Remember, the Finder is in alphabetical order. GDevelop 5, double-click. Open up GDevelop. Now I'm going to go half screen on this so you can see the tutorial and GDevelop at the same time here. Let's make that right up to about there on here. Okay, the first thing we want to do is create an account. And we're going to create the account here. And I'm going to use my school email. This is a demo student here. And I suggest you use your same Google password that you have so you don't forget it. Okay, create my account. All right, and you don't need to fill in any profile information here. It'll just be nice to have the account there, and we can close that. So now we got Mace the Dude. We're going to go to build here and create a project. Build, create project, and just go to the bottom here and click create blank project. Now it's important that we name our project and that we find the correct folder for it. Okay, so I'm going to do my who, when, what method here. And I can abbreviate exercise 1, EX1. We want to do the right way of doing our naming convention here. All right. Okay, and then we got to choose the folder before we go to it. If you miss the folder on this step, you'll have to go back and do a save as, okay? It is very, very important that it gets into the folder, that everything that we do lives inside the home folder here. And remember, we made our folders in that last assignment here. So we have our folders in Unit 1 that we need, and we're going to use the exercises folder that we made in the last assignment. All right, and now that we've chosen our folder, named it properly, we can create our first project. Okay, let's double check. Don't want to miss anything on the slides here. Yep, name your project with a meaningful title, right? You can even name it Unit 1 exercises because of where it is. I like the who, when, what to keep things together a little bit more. Select the correct folder before you click create, right? And then it saves all of our projects as a series of files inside a folder. It's important to create the folder first to save our projects. If you save multiple projects in the same folder, it'll get messy, and it won't, and some things will stop working, guaranteed. At this point, your folder will only have the project file in it. As we add assets to our project, additional files are going to get added to the folder, and you can go back and look at that later. Okay, let's discuss GDevelop here and the drop-down menu. Game settings are over here, this little menu here. First thing we're going to do is to rename the scene here, and we're going to name all of our objects and scenes what they are with a name about them here using snake case here. And let's call this one scene game, scene SCN underscore game here. Okay. You can just click on the three-dot menu to rename things, or right-click in here and you get that little menu up. Three-dot or right-click here. And so we'll need to click on the scene game to open it up, and you have the game window and the events window here. All right. Okay, so under GDevelop 5 at the top level, we want to click the preferences and make sure you choose a theme. I like the dark theme myself here, and make sure all boxes are clicked under the event sheet. So let's take a look at that. So click back on GDevelop, go up under GDevelop itself, go to preferences here. Okay, see, everything's not clicked on the event sheet. I'm glad I'm doing this on a different profile so I can show you how to do this. We want to display the operators. This will get us used to programming language and suggest the names of variables used in events. Yes, we want to suggest variable names here. And I've got the theme Nord. I'll just leave it on that, and we'll see how that one works for us. You can go solarized, dark, there, rosé pine, blue dark, so there's definitely different ways to look at it. I'm going to do the default dark here. Well, actually, that blue dark looks pretty good. So there we go. Solarized. That'll probably stand out a little bit more for you all. Okay, so just playing around a little bit. That's all we really need from here. And close that. Super important that's checked. I'm going to come around and check that you got your preferences correct, but let's make sure we get that. Okay, so on to slide number 10, E1.1.5 here, and you'll notice all the slides are numbered so that you can tell me what slide you're on if you're getting stuck with anything here. And let's go on to E1.2. We're going to create our first object, our first game object here. Okay, so our new object will be a sprite here. We're going to add an animation to the sprite. All right, and we're going to edit with Piskel. We got to make sure that our characters are 32 by 32 size. So click the resize just to make sure that the default holds that it's 32 by 32. Yours might the first time default to 64 by 64. We got to make sure that they're 32 by 32. Click resize here. Let's double check where we're at. Okay. And then we're going to name the object when we get back out of here. So we want to create a palette here. We've got black. We're going to want to get red into the palette, or oh wait, I think they say blue in the thing. So we'll get, oh wait, we want that black one to be there, black, and then plus we'll get a nice blue one for the player. I think I did red player in the slideshow. It's okay. Blue player here. Let's just have our blue player out here and select the blue, select the paint bucket, and just make it all. It's just going to be a blue square, okay? And click save. Okay, let's see where we're at here. Oh, and we got to name it up here. Very important that we name things according to the convention, especially on this first game. Later on, if you want to, you can use the camel case and things like that, as long as you keep it consistent. But for this first project, please follow the naming conventions precisely. It will help, okay? It will help. All right. And so we got OBJ block. We've got the color. Let's double check here. All right. Yeah, there's our Piscal window. There's our resize. Here's our palette. Okay, I showed you all of those things here. And the paint bucket. Oh, it's red on that one. We got blue here. Doesn't matter. Colors, as long as they contrast enough with each other, select your own colors for this one. You know, I'll provide as much choice as I can moving forward, but as far as naming convention, don't choose to be creative with that yet. All right. And okay, we're going to add the block object to the scene, and the scene is a large blank canvas that will hold the objects used in your game. Click apply on our object here, and now we're on the blank canvas here, and I'm going to zoom out a bit, and command minus will zoom us out so we can see the whole play area here. This is 800 by 600 play area. And this is where everything will happen in our game, okay? So you can scroll with the center mouse wheel to move up and down. You can grab the handles and move side to side and stuff. But for right now, I just want it centered here. And you can go to the zoom and see how to zoom in and out, how to get different percentages. Okay, we're learning a whole new interface here, so we want to, you know, take our time and understand what we're doing here, because it'll help you later on. You won't get this much instruction later on down the road. All right, let's drag our block out into the middle of the game screen, and there it is. We have a player out on the play screen here. All right, and let's check the grid here. Set up the grid. Okay, 32 by 32, that's what we want. And then we're going to show the grid here. And then let's move our player into one of the grid boxes. And you see snaps to the grid boxes here. And then drag the player out, make sure that he's in the scene. It will snap to the grid. Okay. Okay, now we're going to go to events, and we're going to add a new empty event in this. There's two ways to do this. Well, three at the beginning. Add an event, and add an event. Okay, any of these work to add our first event. Okay, this is the beginner tutorial on events, and this can be really helpful since this is so supported and scaffolded, as they say. You don't need to watch the tutorial now, but you can if you want, and especially if you got time, if you're moving quickly, watch the tutorial. You'll learn more about events. But let's make a couple of events to get really started with this, okay? So we're going to go to Add Condition. We're going to go to Other Conditions here, and we're looking for the keyboard here, and we're going to go for key pressed. Let's see, what do they say the right? I wrote this, so I should remember, but you know, here we are doing the video. right key pressed. Okay. So this is the condition that will trigger the action. When the right key is pressed, okay, and I clicked OK at the bottom here. When the right key is pressed, okay, so now we're going to add an instant force of X on the 200 axis and Y on 0 on the Y axis. It's an instant force, and we'll click OK. So we'll add action, select the block, okay, come down to forces, add a force. We want an instant force that's 200 on the X and 0 on the Y. Okay. And there's our completed event. When the right key is pressed, the object will get an instant force of 200 on the x-axis and 0 on the y-axis. Which direction is it going to move in? Hopefully it moves right on the screen, right? Well, let's see. We'll be able to test that. Okay, so we got to make 3 other events here for the left key, the up key, and the down key. Okay, so we're going to add the event, and here you can search. I'm going to show you a shortcut. Key pressed, left, okay, action, block, force, negative 200, 0. Okay, that's the left key, right? New event, add condition, key pressed, up, whoop. Okay. Did something weird. Anytime you do something weird, just get out of it. Oh, key pressed, there it is. I kicked the text expression thing. Okay, I make mistakes too. I'll leave them in the video so you see me messing up a little bit here as we go. All right, not any key pressed. Key pressed here, and we want the up key. And this one is object block, out of force, 0 on the X, and negative 200 for the up on the Y. Instant force, right? That's the default. We'll be using the permanent in the game here. Making sure that each of these has its own event. If you add conditions under here, it defaults to the AND. So it would be when the right key and the left key and the up key and the down key are all pressed at the same time, it will move in every direction at the same time. It won't do anything. So you have to have a separate event for each of these key presses. Okay, and our last one here is the key pressed here, and we want the down key. Okay, down key pressed. You can make these WASD if you like to, and you can do that later on in your games for anything that uses arrows. Of course, you can use the WASD similar to other games. 0 on the X and 200 on the Y for the down key. Okay, so this is the way your events should look for the exercises here. What do we do now? Oh, we click save. Click save. Save, save, save. Save, save, save. Save, save, save. Yeah, save all the time. You'll be glad you did, right? You don't want to lose any of your good work. Anything blinks, something gets closed. Happens all the time. Would love for you to retain as much of the work that you create as possible. Okay. So we're going to now go to the preview tab and test that our little exercise works, that we get this thing going back and forth and up and down. Okay, so the left key goes left, right key goes right, up key goes up, down key goes down. Nice. Okay, so all you got to do from here is Command Shift 4. All I want to see is the conditions here, that they're all separate conditions, and then I'll know that you made this work. Go back to the oh, am I in the wrong version of this? Okay, there we go. Add a file. Browse for your screenshots. It'll be on the desktop. There you go, and then you can delete that screenshot. You can save it if you need to. But as long as you turn in a screenshot for this one, we're all good. Woohoo! First project, success. We learned a lot about the interface and using GDevelop here in this little project. So good stuff. Happy to hang with you. Please ask questions if you get stuck. Let me know what you need. Have a great day. Bye-bye.